Hey everybody, this is the Midnight Goddess, and welcome to the second half of Decriminalizing Sex Workers Helps Everybody. Now, criminalization is unnecessary to address the harms. The prostitution laws in Canada are very redundant. There's ample provisions in the Canadian Criminal Code to sanction those who harm, abuse, or exploit sex workers. For example, there are laws that protect the citizens in the Canadian Criminal Code, prohibiting trafficking of persons and forcible confinement. That's the Canadian Criminal Code Section 279. Organized crime, Canadian Criminal Code Section 467 467.11 to 467.13. Physical assault, Canadian Criminal Code 265, 267, 268. Sexual assault, Criminal Code sections 271, 72, and 273. Intimidation, that is in the Criminal Code under section 423. Extortion, Criminal Code 346. And theft, 322, harassment, 264. Now, ironically, laws ostensibly put into place to protect sex workers criminalize the very people deemed vulnerable and in need of protection. So we have a system where criminalization legitimizes discrimination. The very existence of quote unquote prostitution laws positions sex workers, their partners, employers, drivers, etc., as inherently indifferent from the normal citizen. Now, this is the process that reaffirms and legitimizes the perceived difference between discrimination against sex workers and discrimination against other people. So sex workers, they believe that the discrimination is justified. In our current legal discourse, the identity of the people who work in the sex industry is confused with the work they do outside of it. These people, once they've been outed, quote unquote, as sex workers, no longer fit into the lens of one's normal activity for the community. This is why it is stigmatization. The idea that sex workers are powerless victims in need of salvation is often used to justify criminalization. This delegitimizes and silences sex workers at the same time as it renders their diversity, engagement, and agency invisible. And just a final point, criminalizing clients is not the solution. Sex workers' clients are already criminalized in Canada. Changing the laws would only make it harder for sex workers to be decriminalized. The laws state right now that the purchase of, not the selling of, sexual acts is illegal and will maintain or exacerbate current repressions. Criminalization is criminalization. When clients are targeted, sex workers' customer base erodes, and they are more likely to take risks with new or unknown clients, or provide services that they would not usually offer. They may reduce their fees, and that means they must work longer, more often to generate the same income. You are essentially putting these people in a situation where a worker is being coerced, or some person perhaps is underage, and because prostitution is criminalized, that person could be too afraid to go to the police. Criminalization perpetuates human rights violations. Now, we have discussed basically in putting in the Swedish model. In Sweden, those sex workers who continue to work on the street are harassed and abused by the police. Videotape, strip search, search for condoms. This is one of the biggest issues with the Swedish project, like model, which is why we're saying that it's not a solution. Also, because in the Swedish model, sex workers are implicated in a criminal act, and they are required to go to court and provide evidence against their clients. This puts them incredibly in dangerous position, because what if that person wants revenge? What if that person says, no, this is not okay, I want, so and so put in jail, and it's a total kerfuffled mess. And I think that we should just start decriminalizing this everywhere, because it will be recognized as a legitimate profession, which it should be. It will offer unions, benefits, things of that nature. And yes, sometimes unions are bad, but we're trying to stop marginalizing sex workers and trying to help them. And if that just means safer streets, then let's make safer streets. But criminalizing sex work is not, and never will be, the solution to the problem, because the sex workers aren't the problem. So just something to think about. And remember, guys, if you can't love yourselves, how the hell are you supposed to love anybody else? Bye for now.